2019. As I said, she is my mentor in ITHF, and even though she will be leaving the board later this year, I've asked her to continue as a presidential advisor. Now, I'm glad that you're all sitting. Get this. Sheila and her husband, Bill, love to travel and have visited not 10, 20, 30, but 100 countries. They can hardly wait to hit the road again. By the time we are done with this panel today, discussions and collectively, I think amongst all of us, we'll have traveled more than 1,000 countries. What a great group. It's my distinct honor to welcome Sheila Hart and her panel, and Sheila will introduce the panel. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bala. And I have to say that I think Bala is bringing everything to a whole new level because we've never done anything like this before. I think we might as well have our AGM right now, Bala, because we've got more people on it than attend an AGM. Anyway, this has been great fun, and I'm delighted to be working with a very international panel. Madhu Bishnu, I don't know how many fellowships Madhu belongs to, but it's plenty. But she joined ITHF in 2001 in San Antonio, and we're very lucky to have her working as a VP for East India and Bangladesh, and also as secretary. She's actually a member of the E-Club of Melbourne in Australia, but she lives in Kolkata, India. And next is Brian Murray of Somerset, England. And I had to ask Brian, what is a UVL roundtable? Because he said he belonged to that and then got involved with Rotary and has chaired all sorts of club committees. He's been on district officers. He's been a district governor, and he has also served as the Friendship Exchange Chair for District 1200. Brian is currently serving as VP for Great Britain and Ireland. And Laurie Sears Deppa from Annapolis, Maryland, beautiful place, has been in Rotary since 2001. And she joined ITHF at the Hamburg Convention just a couple of years ago and was immediately launched into one of the VP positions. But she does come with a good travel background. She has a blog at Kangaroos and Kimonos and serves as a travel agent. And last but not least is my very dear friend, Alonso Campoy from Bauru, Brazil. He was a retired engineer turned travel agent for Brazil Travel, and he's been involved with RFE, GSE, RYE, and TRF. How's that? And he's serving as the VP for South America and the Caribbean, and he's now on the board of ITHF. So I'm going to turn it over to the panel, and Madhu, I would like you to start, okay?
Thank you so much, Sheila. Good evening from India, and I would like to share the fun part that I've been involved with being an ITHF member. So my experience of being hosted are more than me hosting ITHF members in Calcutta, but my experience has been so good. There's no end to how much I can praise. My first experience I would like to share with all of you is I visited Homer, Alaska, and this was when past President Steve Yoshida and Noko Yoshida hosted me. So I had a wonderful time staying with them. And the two great experience I had was I was in Steve's fishing boat, because I had not been in a fishing boat before, certainly not in India. And the other fun experience was to watch mama moose and a baby moose, walking on their garden. So this was just real fun. Of course, I didn't have my camera, not a fancy camera then, and so I couldn't click some good photos, but it was such a fun to watch the mama moose and the baby moose. The other experience I would like to share, so I was hosted by a couple in Salt Lake City in Utah in 2007. during the convention. And Barb and Chris had visited me in India, and it so happened that we love cooking. And one of the experience I had was they love shakshuka. And so Barb came up with this idea that why don't you cook for dinner, for breakfast, and we will have it for dinner. So it was really fun because virtually we are cooking at the same time, sharing our stories, what we like in shakshuka, and they had it with wine, and I had it with a cup of coffee, and it was just a great fun experience that I had with them. The other thing is I had been invited by one of the past administrator, Aircon, UN Chao Aircon from Taiwan, to be a volunteer in Tatu, which is central Taiwan, to teach communicative English to junior high school kids and senior high school kids. And that was the best experience I've had, because I've been a Rotary volunteer in Bangladesh, and being a volunteer in Taiwan is very different. So I loved so much the experience that I went in 2017, in 2018, and in 2019. So every time I stayed for 2 months, and I was hosted by the kids' parents and some of the teachers. Every weekend I could go and see some place in Taiwan. And you know, the teachers love me so much. I'm in touch with them every day. And, you know, they keep asking me, even the kids keep asking me, when are you coming back? So I'm just waiting to travel back to Taiwan again. I had a wonderful, wonderful time. During the convention, ITHF will always have a presidential dinner. Many of us present here would be knowing that, you know, we just look forward to that presidential dinner. And I have been attending a lot of the dinners during the convention. I mean, prior to Hawaii virtually, I've been attending conventions every time. So it's just a great fun way of knowing people, meeting new friends, and reunion with the old ones. So the presidential dinner is something we all look forward to. Of course, you know, volunteering to help in the booth, that itself is a great experience. And as Sheila pointed out, that I'm a member of several fellowships, so, you know, I kind of keep on hopping from one booth to the other. And I enjoy volunteering, asking Rotarians to be member of ITHF. And, you know, if any of the ITHF members have any problems, then, you know, just try to solve it. So I'm also a member of the Cruising Fellowship, and we are coming up with this idea that once the website is up and running, we are going to have a group of cruisers. And so we would like to invite the ITHF members who love cruising to be a part of that group. And, you know, we can work on how we can go about doing cruise together. So these are some of the fun things that I had being a member of ITHF. Thank you so much.
That's amazing, Madhu. Thanks you. You've shared more than I knew about you, and thank you very much, especially for the service that you've done in Taiwan. Okay, next up is Brian Murray from Somerset, England. Oh, you're muted, Brian. Brian, you're muted.
Yeah, right, we're off. Hello, thanks for that, Sheila, and thanks for your earlier introduction. Of all the introductions I have had in Rotary or beyond, I have to say that is by far the most recent. So I thank you very much for it. You also kindly mentioned that I was a past district governor. Interesting, isn't it? Because Rotarians tend to come and go. Past district governors tend to accumulate. Have you noticed that? They can, of course, be likened to a pair of favorite old tennis shoes. Pretty useless, not much good. pretty worn out, apart from the tongue. So, from time to time, they wheel us out and dust us off and wipe our chins and sometimes ask us to speak. And then they put us back into the closet until the next occasion. So it's a delight to be here and a delight to be with you. But enough of this. ITHF. Interesting fellowship. Now, my ideology of Rotary is has always been fun, friendship, fellowship, and levity, particularly humor and amusement. And I consider myself to be very fortunate in the past because my career involved many years, involved international travel for business and travel through all the continents of the world. And Rotary played a role in that because I was always able to touch base with the Rotary Club and if time permitted to attend meetings and so on, which I did quite a lot of. And from time to time that developed into invitations being extended for meals out, for drinks, for attending sometimes fundraising events, social events, and over the years making a number of friends. And I began to realize that some of those friends that I was making were members of this fellowship within Rotary, which at the time I knew nothing about, or very little about, which is my era, called the International Travel Hosting and Travel Fellowship. And it wasn't, of course, ITHF really doesn't lend itself to business travel, but you can push the borders, but it's not really lend itself to business travel. But it's nonetheless was good to be part of teams and to be invited out and to socialize with folk. So that was a good thing. And so I began to become more and more interested. And a number of those Rotarians around the world that were friending me, making me a friend and inviting me to things I found were members of this fellowship. But it still took a few years for me to join because business was business and I was busy doing other things. Contact, however, with those same Rotarians, some ITH members, has maintained over the years. And, you know, it does establish friendships of long-standing, of depth, and great deal of involvement and understanding between people. And there's no better way than to gain first-hand knowledge of the cultures and the ways people live and so on, than by being hosted and staying with them in their homes, as we do in the fellowship. As Madhu said, we have fear of being hosted more than we have actually hosted others, because we live in a fairly rural area in the UK, which people tend not to come to in great droves. They tend to go to the larger environs rather than coming to the rural areas. But we have nonetheless hosted guests from the United States and Canada, North America, say, and from India and Australasia and other parts of the world as well, and thoroughly enjoyed it. And we maintained, as I say, we maintained contact and are still friends with a lot of those people still after some years. Back in 1905, Rotary was, of course, formed as what we now call, wasn't thought at the time, but what we now refer to as a networking organization. And the fellowship really does lend itself to being just that, because you do build friendships, you build contacts, you build people of similar interests, similar backgrounds, not always the same backgrounds, different vocations, different races, different religions, doesn't matter, they're all friends. And you are able, therefore, to build up a network also of contacts, which are very helpful in Rotary circles, particularly in building joint projects, areas of cooperation between projects and so on. And that too can be very useful and is something that can come from ITHF membership. there's always a common thread, making new friends and re-establishing contact with longer established friends. And I've been in Rotary a long time, and in ITHF for a much lesser time. There's folk here I hear from Lagos, Nigeria. I remember one trip when I was in Lagos, being taken, as I say, you meet with all people, different vocations, different interests, different hobbies. Some you understand, some you don't, some you are involved, can get involved with, some will frighten the life out of you, as was such occasion when I was in Lagos and hosted by a friend, and now more recently a friend, not at the time, who insisted that I should go with him on his speedboat. Now, as somebody who never learned to swim, isn't that a terrible admission? Never learned to swim. I was invited to join this guy and his family on his newly acquired speedboat in Lagos, and we went out this Sunday and it frightened the life out of me. I quite enjoy cruise ships, but anything smaller is not really my scene at all. So that was a new experience, and that was something which I probably wouldn't have done had I not have been in that situation at that time, and so on. So there are occasions when things drop into place, things happen unexpectedly, but always fun, always exciting, and worthy of being involved with. All members, of course, can help, because this fellowship, like most of the 80+ other Rotary fellowships, are Rotary's best kept secrets in many ways, and only the members tend to know about them. So all members can really play a part, because the membership is the fellowship's best and biggest asset. And so it's down to the membership to increase members, to spread the word, and to try to attract new members wherever possible. So friendship can be made, friendships are made, friendships are long-standing. They tend to be, there is a common interest in making friendships through the fellowship. That tends to go on and be built on. And I commend it to anybody who is not already a member to come on board and join it. Hopefully,
Thank
Sheila,
you,
that gives you a brief background. Hope I didn't start slow and then taper off from there. Every Rotary club, and I imagine this fellowship also, has pessimists and optimists. The pessimist is the guy who wears belts and braces at all times. The optimist is the 70-year-old who gets married and starts looking for a home near a school. It's now 5:30, coming up to 5:30 in the evening, so it's drink time. So cheers. Thank you very much indeed.
Cheers. Thank you, Brian. That was really entertaining. Everybody has such unique experiences. So Lori, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Oh, look at the backdrop.
That's Jamaica. It's Montego
Okay.
Bay.
Okay.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Lori Sears Deppa. If you can't remember, just remember LSD. I'm from Annapolis, Maryland. If you don't know your state capitals, it's the capital of the beautiful state of Maryland, which is about 30 minutes from DC. So I really encourage you to come stay. You said a lot of people don't have room. I have room for about 6 people. So come visit as soon as you're able and inoculated if you want. I actually met Sheila. She was mistaken, but that's okay. In Toronto. And I found out about ITHF. That was I've been to 2 conventions. And I fell fast and hard in love and became vice president on the spot. I love to travel. I got the bug when I won my first trip to England when I was 19. And I've been traveling ever since. My 9-year-old has been to 50 countries. So we're going to pace you there, Sheila. And I write a blog called Kangaroos and Kimonos, which is just where I teach people to stay free, the general public. And when I found ITHF, it was something else to put in my portfolio. So I was really excited. I was the GSE team leader to Uruguay, and I still haven't met the friendships that I believe I'm going to make with ITHF. I have traveled a lot, and even over the last couple of years since finding ITHF, I haven't been able to stay all the places I want because we didn't have members there. So I'm asking all of you to leave today and go back to your clubs, and please recruit as many members as you can. I think it's only going to be amazing for people. As I was telling some of the group earlier, I have a friend who's joining the Rotary Club, and she's brand new to Rotary. I have another friend who's joining Rotary, and two of us are going to Cancun this weekend. And of course, some people have said that they have friends in Cancun, and so Rotarians. So we are going to look them up. And so I want to show the international side of Rotary. I think that's the reason why I love Rotary the most, is the fact that we have the whole world in front of us, and they're all people that we should feel comfortable with because we share a love of Rotary. And I had two great experiences. I had a fantastic experience in Alaska, which is of course very expensive, but I found this amazing hostess. She was a pistol. I say that, I mean, in the best way. We showed up at like 2 a.m. because our flight was delayed, and I felt so badly. She showed up in a robe, and she's like, if you're expecting dinner or room service, no. And so from that point on, we really had a great time. I have a 9-year-old, as I said. I'm 53 with a 9-year-old, so please pray for me. But I showed up there with my 9-year-old, and she had her grandchildren come over and play. She gave us tickets to the museum in Anchorage. She just gave us a lot of inside information. She made us dinner. She invited friends over. Then I drove to North Carolina. I drive to Florida a lot. So if anybody's between here and Florida, I'll be glad to stop and see you. And I stopped and I met Mr. Matt Kane, who's in Raleigh through ITHF. And he was amazing, absolutely amazing. He and his wife, they brought me in and they just took me out for like 3 days, took me to a party, took me here, took me there. Matt took me around sightseeing because it'd been a long time. So really great experience with Matt in North Carolina. I'm looking for exchanges with kids. I think one of the things about Rotary is that we don't do enough for families. People are so busy with families. And if we can show Rotarians that we do have opportunities for their kids and grandkids, that's one thing that's important to me. And also, I just want to say that I'm also a part of the RV Fellowship. So I have a second home in Orlando, and I get that some of you don't like the parks. I don't always like the park. I'm actually a disabled veteran. You might not think by looking at me, but I have a permanent spinal injury that isn't fixable. So I deal with a lot of pain. I couldn't even make a call last night because I was in so much pain, but I would love for anybody to come visit. Please let me know if you'd like to swap an RV. I have a travel trailer, Winnebago, and I have a second home in Orlando that I can swap with you, or you can join me down there. And so really, if you'd like to look at my blog again, it's called Kangaroos and Kimonos. And if you'd like to find me on Facebook, it's Laurie, Laurie, Sears, Sears, Deppa, Deppa. So, and that's my email. And again, send your kids, send yourself. I love hosting. We have hosted probably 300 people in our home. And actually, just the last thought, this is a picture of Jamaica because I went there, and this is just a pointer for you. I went there in November with my daughter, and they were not ITHF, but I looked them up. I looked up the club finder. I didn't hear anybody talk about this, but if there aren't clubs where you're going, look up clubs on Club Finder. If you have to do a Zoom, great. If you go in person, great. But get up and talk about ITHF because they were amazing. They came to my resort. They picked me up. They took me out to dinner. And my daughter had a medical problem. And of course, there was a doctor in the club, and they treated her and they got her some medicine, and they wouldn't let me pay a dime. So I just say, I really, really love Rotary. So thank you.
Thank you, Laurie. I think you've encouraged everybody, and I must go to your blog. And last but not least is VP Alonso Campoy. You're muted, Alonso.
What about now?
You're okay now.
Okay. Hi, folks. Nice to talk to you. Thank for Sheila and Vala Roma to invited me to be here today. I am a Rotary member since 1990 for 30 years, and I am ITHF member for 4 years. I'm still member because I believe through Rotary, we always find reliable fellows to share our experiences. The world has become very small, and to have a friend wherever you go, it's a big advantage. Selected people that you can trust, knowing their way of life. On this way, we short the distance between us. Grasp the other side is the best way to promote the world peace and understanding. Due my involvement with ITHF, today I have been working on several fronts in the program. I belong to the virtual tour committee, and also I develop different parts of the world tour programs for groups or personal travelers. So when you trip, you can explore better all possibilities. I use my professional skills to improve your travel quality through ITHF. Thank you, folks.
That was short and sweet. And so actually, if I could just mention too, ITHF has taken on a new initiative, and that is virtual travels. And Alonso did a marvelous show on Peru, and I understand he's got one in his back pocket on Brazil. But
Right.
yeah, and Madhu's coming up next, aren't you, for virtual travels? I believe it's a cooking program.
Sheila, as a past district governor, I'm afraid to speak so much. Anyway, I try to be as short as possible. But the virtual travel initiative we're doing on ITHF, it's a wonderful possibility to know better. Of course, in the pandemic moment we live, it's a better way to share experiences and traveling virtually.
Yeah, I think it is. We really migrated to Zoom, which is wonderful. So I think next we could open it up to questions from the audience. I'm going to have some help with this because I can't see everybody. So
I don't think this is a shy audience. So if you have not yet added questions in the chat box while you're thinking, please.
Oh, I see one question. When will the website be online? And actually, Vineeta's with us. So Vineet, would you like to unmute yourself and tell us what everybody is so anxiously waiting for?
Sure. Thanks, Sheila. And it's great to be with all you folks. And I've heard some great comments, and thanks for inviting me to this. I'm happy to be a part of this. Website has been going feverishly well. We've had multiple calls around it. We keep on improving it. I think by next week, by April 15th, we will have a live site for everybody to log into and change profiles and add members. I'm not ready for it yet, but I can show you a quick demo if you want. We don't have to. I just wanted to offer that.
Okay, well, I think we have some members who aren't ITHF members, but maybe let's see how this goes in terms of questions and if we have time, Vineet, okay?
Sure,
Yeah.
sounds good.
Okay, any other questions? Roma?
Sheila, can you talk about the price? I don't think anybody's talked about the price to join.
That's right. Well, okay, so I think we're $5 more than the average fellowship. However, you can pay $35 for 1 year, or $55 for 3 years. But we have
Wow.
a deal for you. And that is, if you join and you go traveling and you write a lovely story and send it to our Connections newsletter editor, and she publishes it, guess what? You get a year's free membership, which is a real bargain. Okay.
This is Alicia Resorvin, and I from UMass, Pennsylvania. I do hope that the website for ITHF is available soon. I have had fellow Rotarians, and I have gone to some of the clubs, my presentations, and I've received emails telling me that the website is out of order. And I guess it's been, I don't know how long it has been, but if we could be informed as soon as it is over. I am supposed to have a presentation with one of our local clubs about fellowships. And of course, I always emphasize ITHF because I think it's a wonderful, wonderful fellowship. But if we couldn't be informed or emailed as soon as it is available, it would be great. And my last question is, could we access Alonso's presentation on Peru somewhere?
Yes, you find it on the YouTube already. And also, I'm pleasure to send you, if you write down your email address on the chat.
I will send it
I
to you.
believe also the plan is to put it on the ITHF website once it becomes up and running.
That is
I
true.
thought that was the plan as well.
Yeah. And I think also in terms of the virtual Rotary International Convention, we will have a booth there. And I believe that some of these shows will be shown at that time. So I just see a note from Vineet. April 15th is the target date for the launch. And I agree, whoever was speaking, because I'm out there talking about fellowships too. I had a meeting at 7 o'clock this morning to talk about fellowships, and promptly I had a couple of people who wanted to join. So we need to get it up and running.
Hey, Sheila.
Yes.
Sheila, can you, I know you sent me, and everybody else probably can get some. You sent me these beautiful brochures and things like that to take to meetings. So can you talk about that?
Yes, we have brochures and we need to update them, but we will get them stock made. And any of the members who want to go out and do presentations or know people, they can order them through our administrator, Kimberly Carroll. And the other thing, I've got it on my wall in front of me, which makes no sense. We have some beautiful posters. Two of them actually. One is a celebration for 30 years of ITHF being around, and the other one is just called Visit and Host Rotary Friends Around the World. So I still have some of these posters at my home. So if anybody wants to have some posters for district assemblies, district conferences, or what have you, please just get in touch with me, okay? And I can send them to you.
So Sheila, there's a question, and then we'll go to Nikam, who has raised her hand. The question is, what is your best experience in travel?
Oh
That
my
is
goodness.
specifically for Sheila.
Oh dear, I've had so many. I just, you know, I'm getting old and they keep flashing by me from time to time. I think most recently it was a trip to Petra, which was not an ITHF trip. It was on a cruise, and that was just amazing. Definitely the 2 Rota Plus missions in Nepal and Peru were outstanding. But in terms of the ITHF fellowships, we had kids living in Brisbane, Australia, and we went there and we weren't actually sure if they were going to still be there when we got there. So I contacted an ITHF member and said, you know, can we get together or what have you? So even though the kids were there and we still stayed, they took us for a day down the Gold Coast, but back through some of the smaller communities back to the Gold Coast. And I know that we would never see those as a regular tourist.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Sheila, can I say one thing real quick on what you just said? I think also something important that people didn't mention is that I had one family that didn't ask to stay because they were already with a business trip or something, but they just wanted to get information or maybe meet for coffee. So that's also a possibility too. It doesn't mean you have to stay with them, but maybe you just get together. Maybe you're in a hotel or on a cruise or something. You can still meet people through this organization.
Yeah, absolutely. Bill and I spent a day in Hilo and we went out with the Yoshidas for the day, and it's wonderful. And then again in Auckland, I don't think they're in ITHF anymore because they've given up traveling. But we had met this couple many times through Rotary Friendship Exchange and then through ITHF. And again, they took us for the day. And what was absolutely outstanding to me, and this is total serendipity, they took us to a small rural airport. And here they were using one of the planes that my dad had flown during the Second World War. I mean, you just don't get, it was just total serendipity that happened.
If anybody's a pilot, my husband's a pilot, you can come and we'll take you up.
Oh boy, this is getting better all the time, Laurie.
Nekem, you had raised your hands. You have a question, or the question was you wanted to find out you can pay dues online, and the response to that is as soon as the website is up and running, you can pay the dues online. Do you have any other question? Nekem? You're on mute.
Yeah, I was asking how we can pay our dues online.
Yeah, you can pay your dues online as soon as the website portal is launched on April 15th. Prior to that, you'll get an email. You can access the portal, and then you can also update your profile and pay your dues online. But the good news is you don't have to pay until January 1st. The board has decided not to charge anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And by the way, that applies to even the Rotarians who join now.
Yeah.
I know we have a number of ITHF members on here, and to be quite honest with you, I haven't gone into some of their profiles, but one thing I will ask you, beg you, please go in and put some information about yourself in your profile, because people want to see that when they're making decisions who to contact. And there's nothing more frustrating than just to have a person's name, phone number, and email. You know, there's a place that you can put pictures in, you can describe your location. And I think definitely having those descriptors of the location in is really important to get people out into the rural areas. And the rural areas have so much to offer.
Thank you, Sheila. While we had, ITHF has 35 vice presidents across our great world, 4 of them on the panel. The others who are on the call today include John Henderson. And let me go to the next screen. We have, John is from the Midwest, Rosette is from Africa, Uganda, and then let me go down and see, she's waving. Further down here. Let's see, Mustafa is from also from Africa, and if I've missed anybody else, my apologies, but these are the leaders around the world who keep the ITHF vibrant and then get members engaged and travel around the world. Back to if there are any further questions. If not, Linda, would you like to introduce Mark, who wants to share a message, please?
Yes, I'm Linda Luty. I'm part of the Troy Rotary Club. One of my Sector 6 in District 6380 clubs is Lake Orion Sunrise. They're applying for a global grant on another continent, that is in Colombia. Mark Vizina is from the Lake Orion Sunrise Club. Mark, your turn. I hope he's still with us.
Muted.
I don't see him, Linda. I think he must have hopped off. You're talking Mark Kelly?
No, Mark Venza.
V-E-Z-I-N-A.
No, he's not on.
Oh, okay. He thought he was going to speak at the first of the meeting. Sorry, we'll have him come another time.
Mark Vizina is on. I see him, but he's muted.
Oh, sorry. I thought he was.
I'm here.
Oh, there he is. Thank you.
Hey, how are y'all doing today?
Good.
We're great.
Okay, go ahead, Mark. You had a message to share.
Yes, I'm actually calling to, and I didn't realize we were going to have such a worldwide audience today. So thank you for having me. But our club in Lake Orion has partnered with a club in Cartagena, Colombia, which has founded in the 1940s a children's hospital in Colombia, which is the only hospital that handles indigent children, poor children, for about 700-mile radius on the west side of the Andes Mountains. And the sole project for that club in Colombia and their sister clubs is to raise money for that hospital. And we have partnered with that hospital, and we have applied for a global grant, and they're in the process of submitting the final grant this week, and are looking for additional clubs that might want to come along and tag along with us. But we are building a second operating room for them, and equipping that operating room with bassinets, with incubators, with an endoscopy and anesthesia machines. We've, to date, between the two clubs and district designated funds, we've raised about $120,000 so far for a $150,000 goal. And we are excited about this project. My wife is from Colombia, from Barranquilla, Colombia, and about an hour north of Cartagena, where the hospital is located. And we're really excited about this project, and we'd love to have some additional clubs, since we've done a lot of the heavy lifting on the grant application itself and the most of the fundraising to date. We are looking for some additional clubs in our districts and in our area to assist and help be part of this very, very worthwhile cause, especially with the Venezuelan migrant crisis that is going on, that Colombia has agreed to accept almost 2 million Venezuelan mothers and children who've been sent across the border. And they're being assimilated into this system, and this hospital is just being absolutely overwhelmed.
Thank you, Mark. We still have a few more questions for the panel. One says, Alonso, is Machu Picchu's tour still open or open at?
It is, and I sent the link to Roma, also to Alicia, so they asked to me. But I guess ITHF website also have a link to see the presentation. Is it right, Bala?
Yes. Yes.
Bala, I have one more thing to talk about briefly. And I see Joanne is on here. Joanne was on the pre-convention trip to Russia that ITHF did. It was just simply an amazing experience, and she put together a wonderful PowerPoint presentation. So a lot of the members will have PowerPoints of some of the ITHF trips that happen on either side of the convention. Oops, somebody needs to mute. So anyway, Joanne, thank you for your service to ITHF. The other thing I have to say is that, we are in such dire straits right now in terms of COVID and travel. My heart goes out to the travel agents. And I know some of our members will be looking for what we're going to be doing pre and post Houston, because usually we have that stuff ready before the previous year's convention. And a decision was just made a couple of days ago that we are not going to deal with this at least until September, because so many of the travel agents have just gone quiet, and they could spend hours and hours and lots of money organizing something. And if we're still in the thick of this COVID, it all goes out the window. I'm sure Alonso can tell you about that. But anyway, so that's just a little bit of an update. We're hoping to have pre and post Houston tours, but we just have to wait a little while and see how this goes.
Perfect, thank you.
It's true, Sheila. It's time to organize everything, but it's not time to travel yet. So the only chance we have is to do a virtual tour.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Another question is, who is the president next year?
Is that $1 million question, Bella?
I'm a simple man, a simple reader. I'm just reading the question from the chat.
Well, I would say, I think his name is Bala Murthy, and I know that he has a lot of support from his wonderful wife, Roma. What a trip those two are on with Rotary. So, Bala has done so much work getting organized for his coming year. I am so impressed.
Yeah. Ready? What do you
Is there anything, John, as a vice president, for those of you who are not speaking, can you please mute yourself? John, is there anything you would like to add since there are no further questions? John Henderson from Elkhart, Indiana.
Elkhorn, Wisconsin.
Oh, sorry, Wisconsin. My apologies.
Yeah, this is, so if you want to get on the other side of Lake Michigan, that's our ocean. No salt, no sharks. So you can come over and visit Wisconsin. I live on a golf course and I have a lake cottage 10 minutes away. So it's a best of all worlds. Join ITHF and start traveling locally. You don't have to go internationally.
I see. Thank you, John. I see Ashok, you have your hands up. You have a question, please?
Oh, just to comment, I don't know how you do it. I'm in San Francisco with my 3 boys, my granddaughters. The best thing Rotary people should know, with being almost 37 years in Rotary, whenever you go out of town, you really find about Rotary. I mean, I have seen so many stories when you go and you meet the Rotarians. Great job, Bala. We are ready to travel. I'm in San Francisco, by the way, my family. Great job.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Kit, ¿cómo estás, Kit? Welcome. How are you?
Fine. Nice to meet you guys.
Can you say hello from Cancun?
Even by Zoom.
Yeah, Kit is one of the best families in Cancun. She's an extension of our family. District Governor 4195. Say hello to all the people here.
Hello. Welcome to Cancun. We will have our district conference 24, 25th, and 26th. So be our guest.
So Kit, we have a fellow Rotarian, Lori. She's on the line here today. She's coming to Cancun this weekend, and I told her to connect with you.
Yes, sure, please.
Lori, Kit is a district governor for the Cancun area.
Please give you my phone number. It's 9986-4551-03. You just call me. Make me a WhatsApp.
Right. Yeah, we'll send you the contact information. But I just wanted to connect the two, and it was great for you to join here as well.
Sure. This Sunday, I will go to Mexico City, but I will be here Friday and Saturday. So
maybe you could connect her with us. Maybe you could connect her with Norma and other Rotarians.
Sure.
Sounds
excellent.
Good.
So thank you so much, Kit, for joining. We go now to Africa. Rosette, say hello to all our Rotarians from Troy and other parts of the world, and tell us what's going on in Kampala, Uganda.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Rosette, here from Africa, Uganda. And I've been an ITHF member since 2015. Actually, I joined from Sao Paulo, Brazil convention, and I got hooked up to now. So I'm looking forward to hosting everybody to Africa. Please welcome, come and be with us. I'll take you around.
For those of you who are not aware, Alonso had planned a huge travel on the Amazon, and it was going to be an authentic Amazon travel, sleeping in the hammock. But that's maybe sometime, hopefully in 21 or 22. Alonso, tell us what you had planned and when we're going to have that back, please.
Maybe if the pandemic will be solved in at least on the end of year, we are planning to do that in October next year. Why October? First, because the rain season is the best time to visit Amazon rainforest. Also, we combine the full moon in Iguaçu Waterfalls to see the night rainbow at the falls. It's a marvelous spectacle to see, and we offer those things together. on the same tour. I will send more information to you guys on the ITHF website, and also we are planning a virtual tour before to release that package to you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Alonso. If there are no further questions, we will open it up for further networking and fellowship. We'll keep it open for at least 15 minutes. Please talk to each other. Please make virtual friends, because the only thing that's not happening on Zoom is reaching out and touching someone or hugging someone, but we'll all do that soon when we get our 2 vaccinations or 1, whichever one, and then after 2 weeks, we're ready to travel, but always wear masks. We're going to unmute everyone now. I guess you'll have to unmute yourself.
Bala and Roma,
go
thank
ahead.
you very much for a great presentation. This was excellent.
Based on. Thank you. We need to do this more often. I think bringing fellowships into clubs is very productive.
Yes, it is. It is. I've already made one connection at least with Nadia. Hi, Nadia.
Yes.
So
we've
we
also
were
had
chatting
3
about
requests.
a presentation on Argentina, a virtual presentation. I'm on the ITHF virtual presentation committee, and I've been making connections with Joanne and Nadia for presentations on Russia and Argentina in one of our future meetings. That's
so
great.
Do you have Nadia's contact information, Simi?
We've already exchanged and made contact on WhatsApp in the last 10 minutes.
Perfect. You're all vibrant. You're all so vibrant.
I'm coming, Nadia.
Oh, yeah, I told you, you are welcome to come here.
So Nadia, I have a story for you. This is Roma. My son's name is Arjun.
Yeah.
And I always wanted a daughter, but we never got one. But I said if I ever had a daughter, I would name her Tina, so that when I call the kids, it's Argentina, And I said, I think God did not like that idea, so no daughter.
No daughter.
He said that was a bad joke.
Yeah, but that is a really cool story, even if you didn't get to have a daughter. But it's a really cool story. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I would have called him Argentina when I was calling the kids, but didn't go over well apparently.
You're funny.
Hi everyone. Hi, I'm Valsa. I'm a very new, comparatively new. I joined ITHF in last July. So you know that all this COVID and things happened and I could not, participate much and all. But I must tell you that within 3 months, I made a connection with a lady in Quebec City, and I made a trip to Quebec City, and we had a good time. So I'm so happy that I'm part of ITHF, and I'm looking forward to more connections and activities. And thank you for enjoy the program.
Well, I'm Alicia, and I just made connection with Nadia. Simi, could I make connection with you too? I'm sorry, I can't make on. Would like to make connections with everybody, but obviously, unless you put your email in there, but Simi,
yeah, I will put my email address in the chat in a minute.
Very good. Mine is in the chat. I put it there. Anyone who wishes to visit this part of Pennsylvania, we're only an hour and a half from New York City and about an hour from Philadelphia. We are very strategically located in the Lehigh Valley, and it's a wonderful place. What can I say?
I'm from District 7255 in New York. We live out on Long Island. We've been members for a long time with ITHF. And we live right across the bay from Fire Island, which is a national seashore. And we have a small cottage over there. So People are welcome to come visit us. We can drive out to Montauk, the end of the Long Island. And we're just a train ride away from New York City, but we haven't visited the city in quite a while.
So ITHF panel, if somebody who's not as familiar with ITHF, what's the best way of looking up a connection in a city you may be visiting? Is it the website or is there a directory? Can someone give some guidance on that?
If they're not members of ITHF?
Yes.
Roma,
So
remove-
how would a person go about planning to get connected with the ITHF member in a city that they're visiting?
So look up in the website, once the website is up and running, and look for the place that particular Rotarian is visiting, and then, get the contact details and then exchange emails, and that's it.
Okay.
Since you are a member, you have a full access to all the information about the fellows who belong to ITHF.
And then one more for those people that may not be Rotarians on the Zoom call here. So one of the requirements to joining ITHF is that you must be a Rotarian, correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
So
Actually, okay, go Sheila.
Rotary has moved so that some of the fellowships can include non-Rotarians. And the board made the decision that we were not going to go that way because, of course, we have people in our homes and we really felt that they needed to be vetted by Rotary first. So
excellent.
Yeah,
excellent.
I never say no for my clients. So if you are not Rotarian, it's easy to be a ITHF member. Became a Rotarian, then you became an ITHF member.
That's right. Yeah.
So all those on the phone that are not yet Rotarians or that are still thinking about it, this is another incentive. And for those that are Rotarians and that are not ITHF members, we strongly urge that you consider this, especially when travel opens up again and you're then going to safe places with Rotarians who live the 4-way test. So just a thought there as you're going and thinking about that.
So following up on that, I want to share that Nakem, who is here from Lagos, Nigeria, she is a young and vibrant group. Some of them are Rotarians, some of them are not Rotarians, and she is looking for any way to make that group even more vibrant. So I told her we'll send her the brochure and some of the key contacts. So Nakem, here are all the people who make ITHF happen. So you've now seen them. You have met them virtually, now you can reach out to them.
So Bala, I would just like to say thank you for pulling this together and Roma for your technical support. This has been an amazing experience. Yeah. And hopefully we'll be able to do it again someday.
Well, I'm sure with if you need Roma for all the technical expertise to duplicating this in the 35,438 other clubs, I think I just volunteered her.
Oh, really? Glad to help any way I can. But I do want to just call out again, Kit Wong. The Cancun Club is absolutely amazing, and that we have a personal connection with them just in so many ways. And so, Kit, thanks for joining at my last. I just texted her like 10 minutes ago and said, somebody wants to hook up with you for Cancun, and she joined the call. So Lori, there you go.
Thank you.
Hope to see you all today.
Roma.
Thank you very much, Bala. Thank
So
you.
happy.
Thank you.
Be safe, everybody, and thank you.
All. Thank you, Sheila. Thank you, Brian. Alonso.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So we'd like to formally thank the panel.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.